You're listening to a Life in Quebec podcast. For more, visit lifeinquebec.com.
The Quebec Art Company, Quebec City's premier English-language theatre group, has let the bird out of the cage with its new production, La Cage aux Folles. It's a rollicking musical comedy that is sure to please many. It is a story of family. It's about values, but it really is a fun romp. From the opening number, I Am What I Am, we know exactly what this play is about. It's about being yourself, individuality, but mainly about family. All of this, of course, against the backdrop of a musical cabaret that specializes in drag queens. We have the wonderful talents of Patrice Louison, who stars as the star of La Cage aux Folles, Zaza, and he is the longtime lover of Georges, who is the owner of La Cage aux Folles. Now, together, they have to hide their relationship and the fact that they were involved in the cabaret at all when Georges' son, Jean-Michel, reveals that he's about to marry Anne, who is, as it turns out, the daughter of a politician who is out to do away with all cabarets in France. It is a lot of fun with musical numbers such as Song of the Sand that people will recognize. The booming voice of Patrice Louison and his incredible presence on stage shows us that this particular actor and singer and dancer has done this kind of thing before. In fact, he's played the role of Albin in France, and he brings that charisma and wonderful stage presence to the stage for the Quebec Art Company. So we have Peter Calkins, who plays the role of Georges, and we have Patrice Louison, who plays the role of Albin. What has this been like for the two of you to play in this play?
Well, it has been surprises, but good surprises. I mean, so far, except for, one or two things. But mostly it's been wonderful, to kind of blend into those characters who are so loving and accepting of each other.
Yes, because this is all about family, and so Patrice and I have spent a lot of time together, just over at his house, cooking together and so on, and really developing these values of loyalty, love, acceptance, pardon, and things like that.
And learn, about each other. So.
Yeah. But Patrice is a very modest guy. He actually was involved in the French production in France of La Cage aux Folles and has been on stage in several French language musicals and even competitions right here in the Quebec City area. So I feel like a neophyte.
Come on, you're not, darling.
Oh,
so
well,
not a neophyte.
You always try to butter me up, but the truth is that I'm your manager and you're the star. I mean, what can I say?
Now, the rapport that you've clearly built as characters must have taken a lot of time and as you said, time together. What was your method exactly?
There was no method. It was just hanging out and having fun, exchanging recipes mostly. It's true, it is.
But actually the first time we saw each other was at the auditions.
Yes.
And it was instant. You've heard about love at first sight. Well, there was an affinity at first sight. Well, of course, we've cultivated it and, brought it to a much deeper level. But, we were at opposite ends of the line of people auditioning, and we just stood up and sort of looked at each other. Yeah. It was kind of a magic moment.
He was smiling and, thinking about things, I don't know what, but I could see it in his eyes that he was thinking about things. And I was like, he must be, as stressed as I am, about that audition and stuff. So I, instantly went to him and we talked, exchanged. And
I have a feeling we're going to see you in the tabloids even after this is finished.
Why? I hope so.
Well, I hope so.
Are they together? Are they not together?
Yes, exactly.
Is Brad Pitt somehow involved?
I wish, but he's not.
Yeah, Patrice goes both ways. Yes.
You've both done quite a lot of stuff on stage with QAC. You clearly know your lines very well. I've heard you rehearsing. I just want to hear from both of you. First of all, Patrice, and then Peter. Just give us your favorite line in the play.
I have so many good lines. I mean, which one is my favorite? Oh, Georges, our son is getting married. Where did we go wrong? That's the one, I guess.
And Georges replies?
Oh, Georges replies, "We've been through worse, my love. We'll get through this." And then changes the subject. "We still have an hour. Let's go out for a walk." My favorite lines have to do with the choice of the son's wife, because we were expecting him to sort of pick up with a guy, and Albin says something like, "Well, you should have seen the look on George's face
when Jean-Michel told us that he was going to marry a woman. I mean, a white woman."
This is actually in the original script.
We didn't
and
change
then
anything.
George has to backpedal to sort of get out of that hole while we're talking to the Dandons. So it's impossible to put your finger on any particular line. The writing is brilliant. The songwriting is brilliant. The dancing is brilliant. And the songs most people know. So, it's a winning combination.
Yep.
You've had to learn your lines and the songs and the dance moves. How has that been?
And the edits of the songs.
Right. So how has that been?
Painful sometimes.
Why is that, Patrice? Why is it painful?
Because it was, always changing back and fro, and so we never knew what to expect, and if we could, still learn it by heart. So most of the lines and songs we learned at the last minute.
Yes,
Wow.
exactly. And I came in with a severe handicap. I don't dance.
Well, you do now.
So and I do now. And Patrice, in addition to all of his many talents, is a dancer and choreographer and has worked in it. So this is one of the reasons that I went over to his house, so he could put me through my paces, so to speak. So that was probably the most painful part for you, right? To watch me dance.
Is Peter a good student, Patrice?
He's learning still.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Thank you so much for your time. Both of you, break a leg.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay, so we're here with J.P. Chartier, who plays the role of Jean-Michel in this production of La Cage aux Folles. Tell us about this role.
It's a lot of fun. It's so cool to be surrounded by the real life people who have so much talent, and these characters that are just out of this world, and they're all over the place. They're left, they're right, and I think Jean-Michel's character is one of the few characters that are a little more centered. He's a little more grounded, regardless of all the pressures that he has, around him from his parents or from his upbringing for sure, and all the stresses and struggles that he went through growing up to be where he is, and it's just so much fun to play. It's so much fun to play. It's kind of like this I don't know, diamond in the rough or something, where everything in the Cage aux Folles is kind of rough and it's kind of on the perimeter of everything, and it's just sort of kind of like the nucleus, I guess, of the mitochondrion of the cell.
The mitochondrion of the cell,
Yes,
I see.
yes.
Now, this is not your first time on the Quebec Art Company stage. What have you done before?
Actually, my very, very first play was, back in 1723, I think. This play called The Memorandum, I believe it was in 2001 or 2002 that we did it. A silly little play. It was a lot of fun. Got my feet wet within the QAC, so that was great. 4 years ago, I did another musical with the fantastic Peter Calkins, and as well with Cheryl as a director, and we did Guys and Dolls. Yeah. So and that's been it. I've done a lot of other theater stuff, film as well, both in Quebec and Ottawa. But for the QAC, this is my third time's a charm. Hopefully, I'll get it right this time.
All right. Well, what's the biggest challenge for you in this role?
Staying focused sometimes, really. The people who are going to come out and see this play, they'll really, really understand. There's just so much going on, and when you see the two parents, when you see the Albin and George characters, they're just so out there, and they're just so funny in real life, and their characters, they're just so funny, and they bring such a positive spin, this great environment, both on and off the stage. So honestly, the biggest challenge sometimes is just not laughing. And we had a kind of a technical dress rehearsal last night, and I won't give it away, but there's this one part where Patrice's character comes out and he tries to be as serious as all heck, and he tries so hard to be serious, and it just cracks me up. I actually laughed on stage when I wasn't supposed to, so that's a great challenge to have, though.
It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
It sure will. It's going to be so many people worked so hard to put this together. I mean, it's a massive, massive cast. And Cheryl's got great reins on this. Lisa, as the choreographer, did such a great job. Of course, Hugh and Susan, as always, just doing some amazing things. And it's kind of all coming together. We're ready. We got a dress rehearsal tonight, and can't wait to do it again and again and again.
All right. Thanks for your time, JP.
Thanks
Break
for
a
having
leg.
me.
Now, for those of you who don't know the Quebec Art Company, they put on 2 plays a year, and every second year there is a musical production. The work that goes into these productions is almost unbelievable. We have an incredible cast here of 24 people on stage almost at any one time. And the work that goes on behind the scenes is equally impressive. I don't know if you can hear behind me right now, they're taking down the set to get ready for opening night on Thursday. We spoke with the director of the play, Cheryl Rimmer, and here's what she had to say.
You've been in a few of the plays that I've done, so you kind of know where they go. I've done a couple of musicals in the past. I took a break on the last one, but I did South Pacific, and I did... You were in it. What did I do?
Oh, you've done loads of things. You did Guys and Dolls, but what makes this one different?
Well, coming back, we do a musical every 2 years, and it's one of those things that is such a big job. It requires a lot of people, to take different roles on and directing, and not many people really want to step up as artistic director because, there's a lot to do. I skipped the last one and I really enjoyed the break, but I was really happy and kind of anxious to get back and doing one. The main reason being was the choice. When I was thinking about it, I fell in love. Best way to put it, with Les Cages aux Folles. I love the story. And on my side for musicals, quite often I find them, they basically are pretty simple. They're based on love stories, pretty basic. And this one is as well. It's not that it's anything different. But I just found the story to have a lot more meat to it. It's about, the issues in it and the way they're dealt with. I appreciated it. It spoke to me, for want of a better thing to say. It's about family. It's about commitment. It's about acceptance. So it spoke to me, and that's why I fell in love with it initially. I actually wasn't familiar with the music at all, save a couple of the main numbers. Once I got to listening to it, the music over and over again, I fell in love with the music. I think it's a beautiful show. So stepping up to direct was really a labor of love. I love the show. I lucked out to have an incredible cast. As a matter of fact, at the auditions, I had too much talent. I actually couldn't use everybody, and I would have loved to, but there are two main roles in it. So that was not necessarily first time, but it was a bit unusual that a few people didn't get some, parts in it, the main parts had it. So we definitely have a talented cast. This will be my third time working with both Susan and Hugh as musical directors. We work very well together, and I'm incredibly impressed always with their method, how they're able to get the best out of people. Work with them. Great. I can't say enough about what the cast, how fabulous they are.
And it's a very large cast.
It's incredibly large. I've lost count. I think I have 24 people. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. More than I can count. Put it that way. More than my hands.
So this is a play with a message about family. And
Absolutely.
You mentioned the songs, which some audience members will know, some won't. But visually,
yes.
What can people expect to see?
Visually, people can expect to see some bit of glitter, a bit of dazzle, a lot of sequins, feathers, boas, makeup, false boobs, if I can say that. It is, part of it. This is a drag queen club. The show, Les Cages aux Folles, that's the name of the club. And I've got a great array of men dressed as women and women dressed as men, dressed as women. It gets a little confusing. A lot of dancing going on. Great choreography by Lisa Short. So we do have some numbers, fantastic costumes from the costume people. A lot of glitz along with the whole family values.
Given all that glitz and the boas and the men in drag, would you say that this is a bit of a departure for Quack?
I would say so. Yeah, I mean, it's risque to a point, but nonetheless, you can still put it under as a family show, family entertainment. But definitely, I should probably say, unfortunately, some people might still be uncomfortable with the topic of, gay, drag queen, transvestite, whatever. It's new issues out there now than when the show was written over 30 years ago. It's still very pertinent, very relevant. The way that we deal with it is the importance is on the message of family and on acceptance. We're not trying to make fun or have fun of anybody or anything, but nonetheless within the show, the humor is already there. So we certainly play on it, no question.
So this is a show for everybody?
I would say so, absolutely.
Excellent.
Yeah, I hope a lot of people leave the show enjoying their evening.
In addition to solid performances by the leads, Patrice Louison and Peter Calkins, not to mention J.P. Chartier in the role of the son, Jean-Michel, there are quite a few scene-stealing moments, notably by Louisa Blair in the role of the wife of the politician, Monsieur Dindon, who wants to shut down the cabaret. As the director Cheryl Rimmer says, this is a show that is really for everyone. So opening night is Thursday, November 26th, and it continues Friday, November 27th, Saturday, November 28th, and closes with a matinee on Sunday, the 29th. There is a gala evening that ends on the Saturday night, and that is something to look out for. Come one, come all, and come see the Quebec Art Company's production of La Cage aux Folles.
Thank you for listening to a Life in Quebec podcast. For more news, editorials, and opinion, visit lifeinquebec.com.